transfer centre. 2 weeks today, the window closes, and in the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear from plenty of Premier League managers looking to strengthen and keep players in their squad, including Jurgen Klopp on Philippe Coutinho. Diego Costa isn't a very happy man. We'll have the latest on his future shortly. After a tough start to the season, are things looking brighter at Newcastle? They've got a new signing, and their fans got a real treat today.
Absolutely. Now, some interesting developments last night on the future of this man, Philippe Coutinho, and his proposed move from Liverpool to Barcelona. Barca's general manager, Pep Segura, has said the signings of Coutinho and Ousmane Dembele are close. We'll get Jurgen Klopp's views on those comments in a moment, but first, here's what Segura had to say.
For days now, we've been talking about Coutinho and Dembele. You are close? How close? Are you just finishing the last details?
We're discussing the conditions of Coutinho and Dembele. We are close, obviously, but as long as we don't have the deal closed, we can't say anything.
Do you believe that Coutinho and Dembele will wear the Barcelona shirt this year?
We hope.
OK, hopeful. That's the Barca side of things. Liverpool, though, are adamant he won't leave, despite the midfielder handing in a transfer request. Here's Jurgen Klopp just a short time ago.
I don't know why other people are saying what they are saying. I don't even know them. So, and especially this guy, I've never met him, so no idea.
Just for clarity, then, is it fair to say that there are no discussions going on between Liverpool and Barcelona with regards to Phil Coutinho?
I'm not sure, but I have to answer this only because we already said what we have to say, or the club said what we have to say, and so yeah, nothing new, no news from me, so because nobody told me anything different since we spoke last time about this.
So then, will he stay or will he go? Let's take a look at how Coutinho performed for Liverpool last season. And Coutinho played in 31 league games for Liverpool last season. He scored 13 goals, ranking joint fourth, as you can see for this from Premier League midfielders. Coutinho made assists, ranking joint 10th. He created a chance on average 35 minutes and ranked 9th.
Now, another story with a strong Liverpool flavour about it. Southampton chairman Ralph Kruger is adamant that this man, Virgil van Dijk, won't be sold this summer. Liverpool, of course, as I say, have been interested in the player, has requested a transfer. Kruger, though, had this to say: Virgil is not for sale in this window, and it's not personal. It's not about him. It's an overall much bigger picture, and, of course, a change of course for Southampton. Let's get the thoughts of Maurizio Pellegrino on Van Dijk's situation.
This Virgil situation, nothing changed. It's the same like last week. For that reason, I don't have nothing to say. I have nothing to say, sorry.
So he still has a virus?
No, I think he's okay right now.
Okay, but he won't be available to play?
No.
Okay.
It's Jane Dougal down there with Southampton's new manager. Let's keep it at Southampton for now. They're in advanced talks to sign Lazio defender Wesley Hoedt. That's according to Sky Sports News. Sky in Italy, though, have reported that the club have made a £15.5 million offer for the centre-back, but the deal is not yet agreed. Other sources are telling us that the player's medical is underway already. Let's go to the home screen again and some other interesting developments regarding Chelsea. Diego Costa has said he's not coming back to Chelsea and will decide his own destiny for next season. Here's what Costa had to say: "My destination is already set. I must return to Atletico Madrid next season. There happens to be an impasse as Chelsea do not want to release me, but I believe this situation will be resolved upon my return to Spain." It's our understanding that Chelsea's position remains unchanged. They expect Costa to return to the club, to get back training and, of course, to get fit. Let's go back to the homepage again. An interesting development. Again, it gathered legs last night, didn't it? But Manchester City are interested in the West Brom centre-back, Johnny Evans. We understand the Northern Ireland international has been on City's radar for several weeks. One source has told us that City have already had a bid turned down. However, another has told us that talks between the two clubs are yet to reach that stage. We understand West Brom's stance is resolute. Johnny Evans is not for sale. We've been told that has been communicated directly to City. Let's hear from his West Brom and Northern Ireland teammate, though, Chris Brunt. He's been speaking to Rob Dorset.
Let me ask you about a mate of yours, a good mate of yours, and your international teammate Johnny Evans, all over the sports headlines right now. Inevitable because of what we've been told. Were you surprised by a bid of £18 million from Manchester City? Did that come as any sort of surprise to you?
Yeah, it probably did, I suppose. You know, you don't tend to know an awful lot of stuff. I think, you know, players and clubs, it seems to be sort of between everything. You know, the dressing room is probably the last place to know, and obviously it's personal stuff between Johnny and the football club, and you know, you've just got to let them deal with it in the best way they can, and obviously Johnny as well. I'm sure there's a lot of things going through his head at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been told from our sources that the club don't want to sell him, that he's not for sale. I'm sure the players, the squad, you as his mate feel the same. You definitely want him to stay. Do you hope he will? Do you think he will stay?
Look, I mean, every club wants to keep their best players, and Johnny's definitely one of our best players, and we're no different. And you know, obviously he's a big player for us since he's been here. So, look, we'd obviously like him to stay, but once again, that's going to be between the two clubs and Johnny, and I'm sure we need the transfer window to close so it's all done and dusted as quick as possible, I think.
So then City after Johnny Evans, one would presume to feature alongside either captain Vincent Kompany when fit or John Stones. Well, let's take a look at how he compared to Stones last season's then. Well, Evans played in 4 more games, here we go, than Stones, with both West Brom and City keeping 4 clean sheets. Evans made 42 tackles, significantly more than Stones, 25 there, but West Brom were having to defend more. We're looking at their tackle success rate. Stones far superior there on 80% to Evans at 56. Evans' passing accuracy was very good, 80% pass completion, very good. Stones with a hugely impressive, though, 92%.
So with the possibility that Evans could leave, it looks like West Brom could take preemptive action. We're told they will go back with a third bid for Middlesbrough's Ben Gibson. They've already had 2 offers rejected. The second worth £20 million. The defender broke into the England squad near the end of last season and wants to return to the Premier League in a World Cup year. Middlesbrough are desperate to cling on to Gibson, though, at this stage. Let's get down to Swansea. They've lost some considerable firepower in the last day or so, 24 hours. I think they're looking to bring back one of their old players, a player who's perhaps lost their way, I think it's fair to say. Sky sources telling us there is strong interest from Swansea in taking back their former striker, Wilfred Bonney, from Manchester City. The Ivorian joined City in January 2015, but played 10 games while on loan at Stoke last season. Let's hear from Swansea boss, Paul Clement.
I've seen him been linked with us, and the other name I've seen that, and now there's another 3 or 4 names on the list. And yesterday, various people that work here at this club, their phones are going, the texts are coming in, the emails are coming in from agents all over the world, because they know that we've done the Gylfi-Sigurdsson deal, and we want to do business, and we want to bring players in.
OK, so that's Swansea. Let's just wrap up for part 1 with West Ham. We've been told that a deal to take William Carvalho to West Ham is proving difficult after a poor result in the Champions League. Sporting will accept nothing less than the £40 million buy-on clause. Talks continue, though.
Thanks very much, Aidan. For now, Newcastle fans got a look at their latest new signing today. Joselu, he trained with his teammates, had an open day for fans at St James's Park. He signed a 3-year deal, and he's told us it was a phone call from Rafa Benitez that convinced him to join.
Rafa called me before I signed, and I think this is the important thing, because the manager want me here, and he trusts me, and I think for me is the best point for I'm here in Newcastle.
Right, next find out which Premier League club other than Burnley are interested in Hull's Sam. So Barcelona continue to be linked with a move for Philippe Coutinho. 3 years ago, Luis Suarez made the move from Anfield to the new camp for £65 million. Cristiano Ronaldo joined Real Madrid from Manchester United for a then record £80 million. That was in 2009. Gareth Bale became the world's most expensive player in 2014 when he left Tottenham for the Bernabeu. And it will take a record fee for a player leaving the Premier League if Coutinho does in fact move to Barcelona. They've already had a £90 million bid rejected by Liverpool. But with 2 weeks of the transfer window left, the big question really remains, will he stay or will he go? Well, we asked Jurgen Klopp about reports that Coutinho might, in fact, go on strike to force through a move to Barca.
I don't know, I cannot nothing say about his attitude, because since he has a back problem, he obviously is not in training. So, but when I asked the medical department how he's doing, no complaints. So that's how it is. So nothing bad to say about this.
And you expect him to be prepared to play, obviously, if he were fit.
Yeah. We don't look. We are all not silly, and we know that's a very difficult situation. But there's nothing new to say, and obviously there are different interests from different departments and all that stuff. But it's not always easy for me to say the 100% truth, even if I don't like to lie. But in this case, it's exactly how I say it. That's what how it is in a moment, and nothing else. Then. The transfer window is a very important time, no doubt about this, but it's also important that what we really do with the actual team, and so we will see what happens. I cannot change the answer because I don't know. Actually, it's nothing. There's a contract, sign it or do it. It can happen a few things on both sides, but obviously everything leads direction 31st of August. It will, I can imagine, be a busy day. If we are involved in this busy day, I don't know, but we will see.
OK, so that's Liverpool, but plenty more going on in the Premier League and elsewhere, and it looks like a defender who's been at Arsenal for the last 2.5 years without particularly distinguishing himself is on his way out. Sky Sports News understands the Arsenal defender Gabriel Paulista is on the verge of a £10 million move to Valencia. The Brazilian defender joined the club from Villarreal, as I say, in January 2015, but has fallen behind Laurent Koscielny, Shkodran Mustafi and Rob Holding for a centre-back place. Valencia could make that announcement today. Let's get to Premier League newcomers Huddersfield. It looks like they're pursuit of a player they've been coveting for some time. Looks like it's hit the buffers, because several outlets are reporting today that Andy Yiadam's move to Huddersfield has now broken down. Sky Source are telling us that the Barnsley defender has failed a medical. More on that, of course, as we get it. Let's go to Burnley. An outstanding start to them at Stamford Bridge last Saturday. And again, another player that they've been pursuing for quite some time now. It looks like they have some competition. We know that Burnley have made 2 offers for this man, the whole midfielder Sam Clucas, the second worth £10 million plus add-ons. Sky Source are now telling us that Hull are quoting Burnley £20 million for the former Leicester player. We're hearing there's also been an approach from Swansea. Let's hear from Sean Dyche on Clucas and his pursuit of Leeds United's Chris Wood.
Well, that's for them clubs and many other clubs to decide how they want to disperse their information. It just leaves us trying to be private and confidential as best we can about our business. We don't wish to do any other than be clean with our business, or as clean as possible when we can. So if whatever messages come out, it's very rare there's many messages come out of our camp. It's from others, and that's just the way it is.
OK, let's keep it Hull flavoured just for now. It looks like they're looking to spend some money themselves. In fact, they've confirmed to Sky Sports News that they've had a £10 million bid for this man, the Cardiff City striker Kenneth Sahore, turned down. The 23-year-old Dane has been a key man in Cardiff's 100% start to life in the Championship this season.
Manchester City are not giving up on their pursuit of West Brom captain Johnny Evans. We understand they're expected to make a third bid after having an £18 million offer rejected. Well, we understand he's been on City's radar for several weeks as Pep Guardiola looks to strengthen his centre-back options. But we've been told that West Brom have been told directly Evans is not for sale. City's interest in Evans hasn't surprised their former goalkeeper Shay Given.
It's quite refreshing that Man City are trying to buy like a British or Irish player, because, you know, we always see these foreign imports coming in and don't know.
Well, you can see Manchester City take on Everton in the first Monday night football of the season. It's live on Sky Sports Premier League and main event channels from 7 o'clock. Well, we spoke earlier about West Ham's interest in Sporting Lisbon's William Carvalho. Slaven Bilic says he doesn't know whether he'll sign the midfielder. Bilic has also backed Vice-Chairman Karen Brady's claims that 17 out of the 20 Premier League clubs would back closing the transfer window before the season starts.
it is mutual from me and the club. We are on the same line, of course. Just I would like that to happen. It would help everybody. But for me, it has to be across the leagues, because otherwise, there's no point. I don't know, but ironically, it would put the clubs even in a worse situation. That you would still lose some players if the clubs from abroad want them, and you want to be able to replace them. So if it would only protect us in terms that no other Premier League clubs can take your players. Your, let's say, Coutinho situation or whoever, that wouldn't stop Liverpool of losing him, but it would stop them of finding the replacement for him. So for me, it's a great idea. I'm the first one who is definitely yes.
Marco Silva has been linked with a move for Arsenal's Kieran Gibbs in recent weeks, but he might also bring in 2 other players to Vicarage Road. They used to manage Sporting Lisbon. The Watford head coach was asked about signing Benfica's Andre Carrillo on a season-long loan, while Leicester's Islam Slimani is also a reported target.
Of course, I know. Worked with me the last 3 seasons ago. Sorry. If I like the player, of course.
A player that you like, is he a player that you think would fit into your system at Watford?
I don't want to talk. It's the same situation like Carrillo. It's important for me to don't pass all this pre-conference, because it's here to talk about, I know it's about market as well, but more to talk about our Saturday match. And this is the most important to me in this situation. And I don't want to talk about every player you ask, because if he's a good player, if I like or not like, it's not important if I like or not like. It's important if we sign or not with the players who want, or if you can sign with the players you want in the future, because that I don't want to talk about the player.
What about Brighton then? Jose Izquierdo is their latest signing. He arrived from Club Brugge 2 days ago. We're going to hear from Chris Hughton in just a moment for you. But first, Southampton chairman Ralph Kruger is looking forward to working with the club's new owners. Chinese businessman Jisheng Gao and his family bought 80% of the club on Monday, and Kruger believes the new consortium share the club's philosophy.
The family Gao is the perfect partnership for the club right at this time where we're at, and Mr. Gao and his daughter Nellie are people who are warm and intelligent. They're people that I've been able to cross paths with here for the last 16 months, and we feel that together with Katerina and Katerina still being on board, we have a partnership that truly will help us to continue to grow and continue to evolve in a natural way, the way we have over these last years.
One player who is staying put at St Mary's is Virgil van Dijk. The Dutch defender handed in a transfer request, but Kruger says he's not for sale, and also that he's been impressed with how his manager Maurizio Pellegrino's dealt with the whole situation.
I think when you look at our leadership and strength of leadership down in and around the first team right now with Maurizio Pellegrino, we feel very calm with this process. If I look at the way Maurizio has been dealing with it openly, honestly, it hasn't distracted from the club because of his strong leadership and because of the clarity and the communication that he's had in the process. Once again, we're fine, and let's look at September 1. And that's when really the assessment of the transfer window and of the club can be finalised.
OK, let's bring in that story I was going to bring you just a few moments ago regarding Brighton, who have been busy. Jose Izquierdo is their latest signing. He arrived from Club Brugge 2 days ago, but is anyone else likely to follow him? Let's hear now from manager Chris Hughton.
I don't think we'd be too much different to anybody else. We keep talking about the responsibility that we have of working as hard as we can to stay in this division, and that means having the best squad that we can, the best team and the best squad that we have. So yes, if we can, but as we continue to say, they've got to be right players for this club.
OK, let's get more now on Diego Costa's refusal to return to Chelsea. PFA Deputy Chief Executive Bobby Barnes wants players and clubs to communicate in person rather than via statements.
it would be ideal that clubs, players came together and spoke to each other and tried to find solutions, because it's always a difficult one, because obviously a player can have his head turned if he's been approached by another club and wants to leave, but it's not always on the side of the player. I mean, there are situations that occur when players, for whatever reason, can be frozen out of things by their clubs. So it is a two-way street. It does work both ways, but whichever way you're looking at it, it's never an ideal situation for either club or player.
So, just 2 weeks then left of the transfer window, and English clubs may have to fork out even more for some new players, and that is because the collapse in the value of the pound has really meant a big increase in the price of transfers.
This has reduced the spending power of British clubs in the Eurozone effectively. I mean, the euro is some 13 to 14% higher against the pound sterling than it was prior to the EU referendum, and that's really diminished the ability of British clubs to buy players from the Eurozone. They're going to have to pay more money for them, essentially.